All right, diving deep today with Mark Passio.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for this one.
He's this speaker based in Philly, runs a website, whatearthishappening.com.
Right, right.
All about demystifying the occult.
Yeah. Not the spooky stuff, though, right?
No, more like hidden knowledge, how it shapes the world, all that.
Yeah. What I find fascinating is, Passio makes it practical, It's not just theories. He connects it to, psychology, society.
Right. How we raise kids, even. So
Exactly.
let's start basic. What is the occult, according to Passio?
Well, he keeps it simple, Hidden knowledge. Not good or bad, just powerful, depends who's using it.
Oh, like a tool, basically.
Exactly. And he separates the, the exoteric knowledge.
Oh, the public stuff.
Yeah, that and the esoteric knowledge.
Sort of the select few, all hush-hush.
Yeah, secret societies, symbols, all that jazz.
Is that what Passio's getting at?
Well, kinda, but it's deeper. He says this hidden stuff, occultism, it affects how the world works, even today.
Well, not just ancient history, then.
Nope. Relevant now, that's what makes Passio so compelling, He connects the old wisdom to today's issues.
All right, I'm hooked. What's the first big concept he tackles?
Mysticism versus occultism.
Okay.
He sees mysticism as, personal, spiritual change, meditation, prayer, all that.
Inner journey stuff.
Yeah, but occultism, that's more systematic.
Systematic how?
Studying natural laws, aligning your thoughts and actions with those laws. Get it?
So understanding the rules of the game and playing it better.
Boom, exactly. It's about, taking that inner change and applying it to the world, creating your own experience.
Starting to see the practical side, not just mystical woo-woo.
Nope, it's about understanding the forces out there, how to use them.
Which brings up a big question. If this knowledge is so powerful, why keep it hidden? Who benefits?
Right. You'd think everyone would want this wisdom.
Yeah. Well, Passio says there's two branches, light and dark occultism.
Ooh.
Dark occultists, they withhold knowledge on purpose, keep power, control the masses through fear and all that.
Yeah, ignorance keeps people easier to manipulate.
Sinister stuff. What about the light occultists then? Why would they hide things?
Passio says it's protecting knowledge, from misuse.
Oh, like a dangerous tool in the wrong hands.
Exactly. But it does raise the question of who decides what's safe for everyone to know.
Right. Tricky ethical situation.
For sure. Passio himself criticizes the elitism around all this, but also gets the danger of knowledge without responsibility.
Balance between protecting and empowering, huh?
Yeah, and that's where Passio's whole personal responsibility thing comes in. True power isn't just knowing stuff, it's understanding and using it wisely.
Makes sense. Not enough to just have facts, gotta EP by them.
Exactly, and that brings us to the trivium.
Trivium, what's that?
Passio explains it as 3 steps to co-creating reality.
Co-creating reality, whoa, okay.
First step is knowledge, just gathering info, the raw material.
Basic learning, taking it all in.
Yeah, but that's not enough. Next is understanding, Processing the info, connecting the dots.
Deeper than just memorizing facts. Got to grasp the meaning.
Boom. And that leads to wisdom, which is when you actually use the knowledge, make choices that shape your world.
So it's not what you know, Ustedi, it's what you do with it.
Bingo. Passio says that's where manipulation comes in, when people are stuck at just the knowledge stage.
They know stuff, but can't see the bigger picture.
Yeah, easily tricked, can't tell truth from lies, even with all the info out there.
Like having ingredients, but not the recipe.
Perfect analogy. And that's where Passio's look at ancient wisdom gets really cool, like the shamans. They use this trivium stuff for education, personal growth.
Okay, shamanism, what's his take on that?
He calls it occultism in action.
Meaning?
Shamans are like way showers, bridging the seen and unseen worlds, healing, guiding, all that.
Original explorers of consciousness, going deep into the mind, nature.
Yeah, they used all sorts of techniques, music, dance, sometimes even entheogens.
Those are like the psychoactive plants.
Yeah, to access deeper levels of awareness, stuff beyond what we normally see.
Fascinating. What about practical uses of shamanism?
Passio says those cultures understood nature deeply, used it for healing, predicting weather, all sorts of things.
Wow.
And they were big on moral development too, rituals, initiations, guiding young people.
Like they saw the link between inner and outer worlds, personal growth impacting the whole community.
Exactly. And this is where he gets a bit controversial. He says shamanic cultures were strict about morals.
Strict how?
Like ostracizing people who wouldn't learn right from wrong, no joke.
Whoa. That's intense. Hard to imagine in today's world.
Yeah, makes you think, though, about responsibility, consequences, individual versus community,
Definitely food for thought. So Where does Passio go from shamanism? Go to other traditions.
He dives into the Cometian tradition, ancient Egypt. He sees it as full of occult knowledge.
All right, unpack that. What makes the Cometian tradition so special to him?
Oh, he's like, ancient Egypt was so into occult knowledge, especially their view of natural law, symbolism, all that consciousness stuff.
So deeper than just like pyramids and pharaohs.
Way deeper. He gets into KMT, the old name for Egypt.
KMT.
Yeah, means the Black Land. He connects it to the Nile's fertile soil, Shows how they revered nature, life and death cycles, all that.
So the land itself was wise to them.
Totally. And he talks about the Cometian trinity, too. Osiris, Isis, Horus.
Heard those names, but not sure I get the deep meaning.
Right. So Passio, he interprets Osiris as like the higher self, that divine spark in us. Isis is the feminine principle, nurturing wisdom creation.
Yeah.
And Horus, that's the lower self, the ego. Okay. Got to balance it with the higher self for wholeness,
So it's a guide to personal growth, aligning with our purpose.
Nailed it. And this whole journey, it's mirrored in that myth of Osiris dying and coming back. Passio sees it as like spiritual transformation in action.
Yeah. Okay. Starting to see how these old myths have deeper layers. What else from Cometian stuff?
Mot. Got to talk about Mot. She's the goddess of truth, justice, cosmic order.
Big deal, huh?
Huge. Passio connects her to natural law. Like, the Egyptians knew there were universal rules, and harmony comes from living by those rules.
Kind of like karma. Actions having consequences, good behavior equals good life.
Exactly. And get this, Passio dives into the negative confessions.
Negative confessions, that's a new one.
So instead of bragging about good deeds, Egyptians confessed what they hadn't done wrong.
Whoa, flipping the script on morality there.
Totally. It's like acknowledging temptations you resisted, choices not made, get it.
Recognizing that being good isn't just doing good, but actively avoiding bad.
Boom. Passio says that's key to Cometian thought. True righteousness.
Deep stuff. So, from shamanism and Egypt, where to next?
Alchemy, baby. The art of transmutation, he says, literally and metaphorically.
More than just turning lead into gold, right?
Way more. Think interchange, refining your consciousness, aligning with the divine.
Alchemy as self-improvement.
You got it. He breaks it into 3 stages, and Grado's first.
Sounds kind of ominous.
It is. Facing your shadow self, fears, limitations, all the dark stuff.
Intense. Diving into the deep end of the psyche there.
Gotta do it, though. Passio says no real change without acknowledging those hidden parts.
Like shadow work? Gotta face the darkness to find the light.
Bingo. He even says the world's going through a collective Negredo, NW, chaos, breakdown, the whole shebang.
Gloomy, but yeah, kind of fits what's going on.
Right. So if we're in Negredo, what's next? How do we get to the light?
Good question.
Albedo, stage 2, purification, enlightenment.
Coming out the other side, all shiny and new.
Exactly. Intuition gets stronger, things become clearer. It's about shedding baggage, being more authentic.
Love that. So face shadows, purified. What's the grand finale of this alchemy thing?
Rubedo, achieving wholeness, becoming one with the divine.
Reaching your full potential, the ultimate goal.
You got it. And while it sounds like super advanced, Passio says every step towards self-understanding, facing shadows, all that gets you closer.
Inspiring. So alchemy is like a roadmap to being your best self.
Nailed it. And he ties this into the Hermetic tradition, this ancient wisdom about like everything being connected.
Okay, Hermetic tradition, break that down, key principles and all.
Starts with that famous saying, as above, so below, as within, so without,
Meaning the universe reflects what's inside us and vice versa.
Bingo. Understanding that connection is key to this occult stuff, Passio says.
Makes you think.
He then gets into the 7 Hermetic principles, like universal laws.
Give me the rundown. What are they about?
First is mentalism. Everything is mental at its core. The universe is like a thought.
So thoughts create reality.
You got it. Then there's correspondence, the connection we just talked about, parallels between different levels of reality.
Like nature's patterns also exist in our minds.
Exactly. Then there's vibration. Everything's always moving, vibrating at different speeds.
Energy is the foundation of everything.
Bingo. Next is polarity. Everything has its opposite, light, dark, good, bad, masculine, feminine.
Gotta have balance. The duality of life.
Right. Then we got rhythm, life cyclical, ebb and flow, growth and decay, all that.
Everything has its season, like nature.
Exactly. Then cause and effect, classic karma, every action has a consequence. We're all connected through that.
What goes around comes around.
And lastly, gender, but not just like male-female, more about the creative forces, masculine and feminine energies interacting.
Okay, so these principles are like a framework for understanding how it all works.
Exactly. Passio says knowing these is essential for anyone wanting to, like, consciously create their life.
Not just about knowing, but doing, right? Aligning with the flow of the universe.
Bingo. And that brings us to one of the coolest parts of Passio's work, symbols.
Ah, symbols, always mysterious.
Passio says they're like a language, expressing big ideas in a powerful way, keys to hidden knowledge.
More than just pretty pictures, they're telling us something.
Exactly. And he goes through a bunch of them, from ancient hieroglyphs to like modern logos, how they've been used for good and bad.
Okay, examples. What symbols does he focus on?
Starts with the all-seeing eye, classic one on the dollar bill, conspiracy theories, all that.
Always wondered about that one. What's Passio's take?
He says it can mean awakened consciousness or oppressive surveillance. It depends on the context.
Same symbol, different meaning, huh?
Yeah, like a tool can be used for good or bad. He says be careful with symbols, question their meaning, who's using them.
Easy to get caught up in the visuals without thinking deeper.
Right. Another one is the pyramid. Passio sees it as like hierarchical power.
Few at the top controlling the many below.
Bingo. And he links that to governments, corporations, religions, lots of institutions.
So occult stuff is built into how society works.
You got it. And he argues it's used to keep people controlled, mentally and spiritually enslaved. Heavy stuff.
Any positive symbols he talks about?
Yeah, the pentagram, it can mean spirit over matter or the opposite, depending on how it's pointing.
All about context again, huh?
Yeah, symbols are powerful, Passio says. Got to be aware of their different meanings.
Okay, so eye, pyramid, pentagram, what else?
Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail.
That one's cool. What's the meaning?
It's about cycles, life, death, rebirth, how everything's connected, endings or beginnings.
Deep. Makes you think.
Even the cross, he goes way back, connects it to pagan stuff, the four directions, balance of opposites, all that.
Simple symbols can have deep roots, huh?
Totally.
Right.
Be curious, he says. Research the symbols you see, uncover the hidden knowledge.
Like a detective of symbolism, finding the clues.
Exactly. And he doesn't just do individual symbols. He gets into colors, numbers, shapes, the whole deal.
Whoa, a whole secret language out there.
It's everywhere, Passio says, and understanding it helps you see the world differently.
Reading between the lines, seeing the hidden messages.
You got it. This awareness is key to breaking free from manipulation, he says.
Powerful stuff. Any final thoughts on symbols then?
Passio leaves us with this: symbols rule the world, not words or laws. Pretty heavy, right?
Yeah, be mindful of the symbols you choose, the ones around you.
Exactly. It's about being an active participant, not just passively absorbing it all.
Man, this has been intense. Passio's really going deep.
Right. We've gone from occult basics to symbols, ancient wisdom. It's all connected.
And throughout, he's hammering in that personal responsibility aspect.
Absolutely. It's not about blaming outside forces. It's about taking control, understanding, making conscious choices.
Inner work leading to outer change.
That's it. And speaking of tools for self-discovery, Passio gets into the tarot.
Tarot cards.
Yeah.
Fortune telling. Not sure about that.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, but Passio sees it differently. He's talking about like deep occult knowledge in those cards.
How so?
He focuses on the major arcana, the 22 trump cards, sees them as like a guide to spiritual growth, not predicting the future.
Okay, so it's about the journey, not the destination.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Each card's a stage of development, not a literal fortune.
Interesting. So less about what will happen, more about understanding what's happening within.
Exactly. He goes through each card, explaining the symbols, connecting them to like consciousness, morality, natural law, the whole shebang.
All right, I'm intrigued. Let's take a walk through these cards. Where does it start?
With the Fool, card number 0. Yeah. The Fool doesn't sound like a great start, huh?
Not exactly a winner, but I'm listening.
But it's not bad. See, Passio says it's pure potential, like a soul just starting out, totally fresh.
So not a bad fool, more like a naive one, full of possibility.
Exactly. And they always show the Fool like on the edge of a cliff, you know?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
That's the risk, the challenge of growing, Passio says.
Got to step out of your comfort zone. That's where the real stuff happens.
Bingo. Then we move on to the Magician, card number 1. That's when consciousness wakes up, you realize you can shape your world.
So taking control, not just letting life happen to you.
You got it. And look at the magician's tools, the wand, the cup, the sword, the pentacle. Those are the 4 elements.
Oh, right. Earth, air, fire, water.
Exactly. It's about mastering those inside and out.
Like becoming a master of your own destiny. Pretty cool.
And the whole major arcana, it's like that each card's a step in this alchemical transformation.
Okay, lay it on me. What other cards stand out?
Well, there's the High Priestess. She's intuition, inner wisdom, then the Empress, abundance, nurturing, all that good stuff.
The Emperor.
Structure, authority, then the Hierophant, tradition, spiritual guidance.
Like different parts of ourselves we got to learn to balance.
Exactly. And there's the tougher ones, like the Devil.
Ooh, that's got to be bad news.
Not necessarily. Passio sees it as temptation, getting stuck in your lower desires, you know?
That shadow work again. Got to face those demons.
Exactly. Then there's death, but it's not literal. It's about change, letting go of the old stuff to make space for new.
Like a snake shedding its skin. Got to keep evolving.
Bingo. And finally, we get to the world. Card 21, that's wholeness, completing the cycle, everything coming together.
Reaching that enlightenment state, everything's aligned.
You got it. Passio is saying the tarot, it's a tool for looking inward, understanding those patterns in your life, navigating the whole spiritual journey.
Man, we've covered so DTH with Passio, hidden knowledge, symbols, ancient wisdom, even tarot cards.
And the constant theme, taking responsibility, thinking critically, aligning with those natural laws.
It's about empowerment, not just believing anything you hear, but becoming your own guide.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, but only when you understand and use it.
Not just reading a book, but living it, changing your life, the world even.
That's what Passio is all about, waking people up, helping them create a better reality.
Powerful stuff. This deep dive has given me a lot to think about for sure.
Me too. So much to de-occult in our own lives, right?
Absolutely. What will you de-occult?